to the live. Sorry, a little bit late, running a little bit late. It's very hot. My tea is very hot. My tea is very hot. Hope you're all doing well. Got to share something with you today. Did anyone see the sunset tonight from the UK? If you're in America, you're probably getting the sunset shortly. So have a look at the sun. Tell me what you think. It seemed massive to me. It seemed absolutely massive to me. Let me show you what I mean. And I've got to tell you, there's a little background story that goes with it. So I was driving through the New Forest and I'm looking at the sun, and it was absolutely massive, glorious orange, red, and what have you. And there's a part of the New Forest that I was going through, and I wanted to get on top of a hill very quickly so I could get some photographs and get a bit of a film and stuff like that. And I was behind another car. So I was driving up the top of the hill behind this car. We got to the top of the hill, well, I got to the top of the hill, and this car pulled into where I wanted to park. And he sort of like pulled in front, and I pulled in just behind him. And we, parked up, and we both got out of the car exactly the same time. And we looked at each other, and I just went, "I hope you're I hope you're here for what I'm here for." And he said, "Yeah." And he got out his camera and started filming, and taking a photograph. So let me just. This is what we were watching. So we were watching the sun go down, and this I'll post some photographs at some point. I'll try and find some photographs as well. Let me I'll tell you what, I've got to do a photograph because it is phenomenal. The sun was phenomenal. Let me sort it out so I can upload it so you can see the photograph. Really beautiful sun, and it just felt like it was it was like it felt like it was just a massive thing. Absolutely, the sun was really big. So if you've got clear skies, let me make a copy of this. Good. Also, I've got to do this sort of like, I'm going to save it as JPEG, save as JPEG, and let me put it up in the thing, I followed this sun somewhere away, and because I was following the sun, I happened to meet this person. So, and that was just absolutely amazing sort of situation, really. Let me get the downloading. Here we go. There it is. Okay. Oh, it's massive. I've got to bring it right down. I really want you to see it all. I do apologize about all this waiting and stuff like that. We will get onto this thing. But basically, the moral of this story, so I was watching the sun go down, and here's a copy of the photo. Here's a copy of the photo here. That it was just so massive. It was really beautiful, and I ended up, he finished, I finished, and taking photographs and films and stuff like that. And then I just went and knocked on his window afterwards because he went back to his car before me. And because I'd filmed it and he'd only taken some photographs, I said, "Look, have you got an iPhone? I'll airdrop it to you." So I airdropped it to him, and we just got into a conversation. And he works for Apple, and he works for their creativity side of life. And his name is Sammy. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful person. And it's just to sort of say that if you follow certain things in life, very simple things, and we've all probably gone through this as well, If you go through very simple things in life and follow the simple things in life, you meet beautiful people. And he's only a young man, you know what I mean? He could have been my son. And but we were, as they would say in French, kiffing, loving the same thing. And we both came up with this idea: if people just stopped and just wondered at the beauty that is in there, free of charge, in the universe, just think how easy life would be. Just think how much better life would be. And so, Sammy, if you're watching, absolutely beautiful. I'm so glad I met you, my friend. It was an absolutely beautiful encounter. So yeah, you know, and I'm sure we'll see. And I just had to share it with you because it was an amazing encounter, Really did enjoy it. So yeah, there you go. I've done my bit. I'm off now. I'm off now. No, I'm not. Oh no, hang on a second. I need to. Here it is. Here. Oh, I'm at 2s and 8s now. I'm really flustered. Hang on a second. I've got to bring up the comments because I'm missing all the comments. Everybody's missing all the comments, and we can't have that. You know, because the comments are great. Where's Creative Live Streaming? There it is. There it should be right. Okay, there's the live stream. There's the comments and everything like that. What, the blazes? What's going on? That's the sun. I don't want that. Hang on a second. Oh right, I know what I did. That's what we got, the sun. There you go. Sorry about that. There you go. Blimey. You know. So yeah, absolutely amazing encounter. Really beautiful encounter. How is everybody? Let me bring the comments up because I can't see what everyone's commenting at the moment. So let me just see who we got in the house at the moment. I feel like a DJ now, don't I? So we got Kim. How you doing? Lynn, how you doing? Suli, how you doing? Frisia, how you doing? Chrissy G, how you doing? Judy, how you doing? Coral, how you doing? Vita, how you doing? Lovely to see you all. Kevin, beautiful to see you, my friend. Excuse me, am I causing lots of sort of painful earness stuff? Unfortunately, I need to be in a meeting shortly, so I'm not going to be able to be here for long. Oh, Vita, I do apologise. Shirley, lovely to see you. I don't know have I got everyone? I think so. Excellent. Well, welcome to the show, as it were. Yeah, I say show. Do you know what I mean? That's a big word, isn't it? Really, it's not exactly the BBC or Sky or something like that. You know what I mean? It's just the Astro and the Astroflower family. So, how is everybody doing? Alina, did I do with the dream video? You know, obviously we can go into that a little bit if you so desire. What I was going to do is because I think Suli suggested this the other day about asking the Akashic Library some questions. So you can ask that. We can go into spirits if you're missing someone, if there's someone on the other side that you want to speak to and stuff like that. May, oh, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. I've had a chaotic week, and Liddy can testify to that. You're in Ayrshire, are you? Excellent. Lovely to see you. Sorry about this early part of the week. Really do apologise. It's been so chaotic. One thing and another. A friend of mine came round on Saturday, Simeon. Lovely man, beautiful man. And he said to me, yeah, sometimes life can get a bit lifey. And I've forgotten who he was quoting on, but yeah, life can sometimes get a bit lifey. And it certainly got a bit lifey this week. You know what I mean? So a lot of general public and stuff got involved, quite hectic. So yes, I hope everybody's doing absolutely fine and dandy. So I don't, you know, we can be doing anything we want really. You know, Ayrshire. So what's going on in Ayrshire? He also told me about a lovely little a lovely what do you call it? A lovely ring called Fig Ring in near Salisbury or Nether Wallop and stuff around there. He was telling me about this, and there was these beautiful blue butterflies that were down there. So I think I'm going to go and do a bit of. I need to go out. As I said, life has got a bit lifey over the last month and a half. We've settled into this apartment, and my daughter's settled into a new school. Cody's settled into a new household, haven't you, Cody? Yeah, mate. And so now we're settled in, we can do a bit of investigating and exploring, going out and do a bit of dowsing, going on a few ley lines and so forth. It'd be absolutely brilliant. So yes, we're going to be doing investigating. So we might go to that Fig Ring. It's like a earth ring, so it's not like standing stones and stuff like that. But Simeon seems to think it was lovely. Is anyone here going to the Kirby weekend? Well, Julie's supposed to be, said she might be interested. I do have the address because I've rented a property in Kirby. I'm waiting for another couple of people as well who may be signing up for the weekend in Kirby, which would be absolutely brilliant. Got some fantastic churches to investigate when we're going to be dowsing and exploring, dowsing through our chakras and our bodies and stuff like that. It tend to get, the idea is to go really quickly. So we start, the weekends are brilliant because we start on basic with dowsing rods and stuff like that, and we work all the way through. So we end up sort of using the Kundalini within us to actually use the third eye to start dowsing and stuff like that. We also do it dowsing for water and stuff like that as well. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic weekend. As I said, I should be renting a property that's got like 2 or 3 bedrooms. So we do the workshops, the theory side of that in the house or the apartment or whatever it is, and then be going out doing stuff on in the out dowsing, actually out on the terrain, as they say. And that's when we start playing with our energies and so forth. And that's when we start understanding ourselves. Because once you put your energy up to the energy of the ley lines or the energy lines and so forth, it gives you a reflection of where you are positioned within your energy. So it's a really good channeling or calibration of your own energies. And it's all about finding that 0.0 and stuff like that. It's, we're practically meditating the whole time whilst we do it, because it's a state of meditation, or the theta energy. If you saw the video on dreaming and so forth, so it's that meditative sort of state, and we can really go into the delta stuff as well and bring the energies right down. So then all of a sudden, that's when the auras start popping and stuff like that. Really good stuff. It's going to be a great weekend. And there's also the weekend that we got down in Wells in Somerset, and also down in Brighton as well. And what we do is we end up building groups. So once we all start progressing, we got WhatsApp groups, talk to one another, asking questions and so forth, because it's a journey. It really is a journey. So it's going to be it usually is a fantastic journey. I enjoy it anyway. I enjoy conveying. What I do is I teach. What I do is that I help people to learn. That's what I do. So I'm not telling you it's cast in stone and stuff like that. It's basically you getting to know yourself, getting to know how you and your language of speaking with energy, and actually how you listen to that energy in return. So it's an exploration of self. Once you understand how to engage with it on your level with your triggers, which could be, some people they can hear a lot more, or some people can see a lot more, or some people can feel a lot more. That's one aspect of it all. But the thing is, what the idea is bringing all the aspects in together. And there's some aspects you don't need to work upon. So I feel a lot, physically feel a lot. I also happen to see a lot as well, physically as well. After a while, you end up sort of like, it's a bit like doing colors on a photograph. You know, you play with the saturations and stuff like that within your intuition. So you're not using just one aspect of you as an intuition. You're using everything. You're using your third eye, you're using your physical body, you're using your spirit, you're using what you see in the way of energy, and so forth, and you're using the surroundings and stuff like that. You know, so it's you know, it's certainly a massive eye-opening weekend. It helps a lot of people do a lot of things. So if anybody wants to go to any of those workshops, you can find all the links in the description where you can sign up. There's you sign up, you put down a deposit, and we sort out the rest. We sort out the rest between us, as it were. And if you want a whole brochure, I can send you a PDF brochure on what we're doing in the workshops. It gives you the timetable and everything like that. I don't know if I sent you it, Julie, but yeah, it's it's that sort of thing. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be really good fun. It's always enjoyable, very enjoyable. So yeah. You can be taught this. You know it. I'm just helping you to remember, mate. That's all I'm doing. And I've seriously, I've done it for quite literally thousands of people, and over that 20-year period of doing it, and I've been doing it for a long time. In France, I was doing it, and I was doing it in French. You know what I mean? From someone who never learned French, I didn't even take GCSE at French. It's quite an amazing learning curve. But I've only had 2 people who haven't really got it. Because you will get it because you will understand yourself so much. And when you understand yourself and how you are, all of a sudden, it's like riding a bike. Once you get on it, and once you ride it, you'll never forget it. And you can't take away from, you can't take away what you know. So, can this be taught? Yeah, most definitely. It's not a case of taught. It's a case of, do you allow yourself the space to see and to engage with the energy on a very realistic level? So it becomes very, I think, very practical as well, as much as anything else, and incredibly insightful. And you can learn you can then, once you know how to learn, you can learn what you like. That's the thing. I need a bit of info, if you can't, if you can, if I can use my walker. What times and stuff, please? You got a walker, so you got difficulty in walking. Is that right? Am I getting that right? It's all on flat ground. We're not going to be tramping up mountains, although I think you did go to Snowdonia, as far as I can remember. But yeah, it shouldn't be difficult terrain in order to do it. If that's what you're sort of saying. As soon as I win the lottery, I'll be traveling across the pond. I tell you what, it's probably a lot easier if I just travel across the pond, because then I can do several people over there, Kim. And I'd love to, but it's life gets lifey, and unfortunately, I don't have all the connections in order to set things up over there. It's a bit. I've tried looking into it, and I've tried doing something, but it's a bit difficult for me to deal with it from that distance without ever being there. So, I need a bit more. So, it's we could definitely sort something out. So, was that a yes? Sorry, Julie. Is that a yes, as in like a walker to help you walk and stuff like that? We'll do a bit of healing whilst we're there. You know what I mean? Get you walking, get you running. But yeah, it shouldn't. There's not. It shouldn't be an issue for actually getting about. It's not exactly difficult. It won't be difficult terrain. It shouldn't be difficult terrain. Okay. if you are going to come over the pond, Kim, I'll set one up in the Pyrenees in the France. That, you know, I think that'd be worthwhile doing as well. It's a beautiful place. My granny frame goes most places good. Have you got it on turbocharged then, Julie? Get it rocking and rolling. Before you know it, it'll be fine. You know, it'd be absolutely brilliant. But yes, so yeah, there you go. So that's I'll probably advert out the workshop, as it were. Do we have any sort of like what's questions? How's the energy been for you and stuff like that? One of the things is asking about the sun, how big the sun was and stuff like that, because other people I've noticed now are coming to the idea that the sun's not behaving in the same way that it used to be behaving, and it's not behaving normally. And I don't think it is at all behaving normally. You know, if you look at our solar cycle, it's a really sharp one peak, as it were. Not very fat at the moment. It may go for a double peak, but I don't think it will do, you know. And it's supposed to be the most active it's been in ages, but that's not what I see. That's not what I see. I'll tell you what I see. Let me show you what I see. It'd be a lot easier, I guess. Let me just pull this up and so I can see this. I won't be able to see the comments on them anymore, so you'll have to apologize. But let me just pull up the solar cycle and just show you what I mean about this. Where have you gone, my friend? Here it is here. Let me just pull that up. So, where's a window display capture? No, that's not it. Window capture. Yeah, let me, where have you gone? There it is. Probably there. Is that right? Oh, I've got to turn it on, that's why. Let me just show you what I'm talking about here. It's that one there. So let me just do that. There we go. There we go. So that's the cycles at the moment. Let me just sort of like mess around with this a little bit. So here's the cycle on this side here. I don't know if you can see it on this side here. And this is the cycle that we're going through at the moment. And look how fat they are. And literally, we've just gone through this, you know, this one peak, and it doesn't seem to be as fat as the other ones. And I think it's going to do a nosedive afterwards. And if I go back in time, you know, it's certainly not registering as one of the biggest solar cycles that we've had. You can see here that there's double peaks here. There's three going down, there's three going up, there's one base one, and then there's three going down. So it's like this rhythm that goes through. And then there's one that's a base one, that's same with this base one. And that's what we had before. So maybe that's that same spike there, which we had in, oh, blimey, 1600s. No, what is it? I can't see. I'm as blind as a bat, you know. 1920s. Blimey, 1600s. I can't go back that far. I can't go quite far. So it goes back right down. That goes down to the 1760s. And look, you get these sort of like rhythms of peaks that go through it. So maybe we're going back. That one there looks very similar to that one there, which is that 1920s. Let me just pull that one there. So we got it. That 1920s, there it is. That 1920 there, I think, is going to be very similar to that. So then, therefore, you get the base there, the drop one there, the drop one there, three up, drop, three down, drop, and then you get the same one as that. And it's like time repeats itself, you know. And this is that oscillation that sort of happens. Let me just bring myself back up so I can talk to you again. that's like the oscillation that sort of like that happens within pole shift. So it's, you get this rhythm that is going like that, and there's moments when there's major progressions on the pole shift, and then there's other moments when there's a lot less progression on the pole shift. And we're going through another big push at the moment, and each time the push is far greater. So it has like it accelerates in time, as it were. So you know, it's let me just go back to there so I can see that, see who's commenting. Yes, so you know, it'd be interesting. Maybe, you know, it'd be interesting to see what's going on with the sun. The closest I got to the Pyrenees, so this is Pyrenees Mountains in France. Yeah, nice, nice or Nice? Is that what you're saying? Not Nice. It wouldn't be in Nice. I wouldn't really go to Nice. I've been to Nice, obviously. It's not nice. You know, there's many other lovely places in France, but I wouldn't say Nice is one of the nicest places to go to. But the route to Saint Jacques de Compostelle, yeah, that's definitely on that road. I used to the house I renovated, the place I renovated for the healing center used to be a welcome center for the route to Saint Jacques, but 150 years ago, you know, and then it got turned into a farm, but it was still to do with the Knight Templars and stuff like that as well. Because that's what it used to welcome a lot of people that used to come through there on the route to Compostelle, and like there's a lot of pilgrimage routes in Europe where, like in Chartres Cathedral, you get like a labyrinth on the floor. Now the idea is that you're supposed to go, and then on the route to Compostelle and on other pilgrim routes, sometimes you'll have in churches on the wall, you'll have like a labyrinth in one of the stones, and you sort of like you follow it through with your, because they weren't allowed it by the Catholic Church at the time, and you know Chartres is the only one that survived by the looks of it, but they used to have it on the floor. So when you walk that labyrinth, each time you walk that labyrinth, your consciousness is supposed to grow until you get to Compostelle, where your consciousness becomes so heavy that you're supposed to go up the hill to the final church on your knees because your consciousness is so heavy. And that's that whole thing of going from one church to another. And each time you go, you walk this labyrinth, and you create you create each time you increase, or you go to another level of your consciousness. Okay, I've actually missed quite a few comments actually. Earthly Essentials, hello Earthly Essentials. Sorry, I didn't see you come in there. I do apologise. How you doing? Lovely to see you. Sounds great. If we can have enough people to attend, yeah, we can set it up in the US. I would love to. You know what I mean? If you've got 10 people, you know, it's very possible. Very, very possible, Kim. You know, I'd love to come out and meet you all and everything like that. Same with Australia. Because if I go to the United States, I might as well just then pop down to Australia. It is a bit of a long pop, but it'd be worthwhile popping down. But the Pyrenees is absolutely gorgeous as well. It's a really beautiful place in regards to peaceful energies. It's not highly energy charged. That's the beautiful thing about it, you know. The closest I got to the Pyrenees was Compostelle. I didn't finish reading that. Fell on my knees. Oh, there you go. And cried in front of the church. Oh yeah, felt something very beautiful there. Do you know what? There's also, yeah, I totally get that. Like a spiritual pub call. Totally, that's what it is, Chrissy. Spiritual pub call. Never thought of it like that, but yes. I'm only drinking tea these days. You know, very rarely have a glass of wine, but yeah, spiritual pub call. That's what it is. It is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I'd also like to do down in St Michael's Mount, down in the heart chakra down there. If anyone wants to do a workshop down in the St Michael's Mount, down in on the heart chakra, it's well worth doing, because you know, I've been down there, and I remember going down there with Tanya, and Tanya, we had most amazing weekend. And when we arrived at the place, she was overwrought by the emotions of a similar sort of thing, and I was as well. You know what I mean? It's just so thrilling, heart filling, and yeah, not Nice, but they do spell it Nice. No, not Nice, France. Yes, the Pyrenees Mountains. I tell you what, I've got beautiful places over there to do the workshops. Really, really beautiful places over there. Do some fantastic weekends. We could do a whole week. If you're going to come over, you might as well do a whole week, and we can do loads of things, and we can move on to the aura and dowsing the auras and doing the chakras. You know what I mean? It could be an amazing week where we could do pretty much 3 workshops in 1 week. Very intense, but I tell you what, once you get the roll of it, and this is the idea of doing the workshop, the source, because when you do the source, all of a sudden you've got the mechanics of how energy works, and then all of a sudden when you're playing with auras and chakras, it becomes a lot easier to understand things because you can understand the mechanics of it. Because the mechanics of the human energy, aura, chakras, and so forth, has exactly the same mechanics as a universe or a planet or solar system. So it really is, it could be a real mind-blowing weekend, a week, a really good mind-blowing week. In fact, it'd be better to do it over 2 weeks because then we can visit other places in the Pyrenees. Oh man, I can be there anyway. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, we can do that. If anyone's willing to do it, I've got the places out there. Sleeps up to 12 people. We get a little minibus. I can drive a minibus, no problem. Absolutely love it. Everyone's a good cook, so we'll all join in with the cooking and everything like that. And we could go and see a lot of places and have an amazing couple of weeks. Really could do an amazing couple of weeks. It would be very, very worth it. I'm up for a week. I'd probably do 2, so I can explore. Yeah, I would do 2 if I was you, Coral. Really, it's worthwhile doing. It's worthwhile doing. And, we could do a lot of things. Going to Lords as well. That is a real mind fuck and energy and everything like that, and how they got around to do it. I did do some videos on Cymatic TV about it. I think it was on Cymatic TV. Might have even been on the Astroflower, but that was mad. That was mad sort of thing. But there's loads of things to see as well. We could even do, there's no reason why we couldn't do a week up in the Pyrenees, in the central part, in the green part of the Pyrenees, as I call it. And then we can move down to Rennes-le-Château, where we could do a bit of Holy Grail searching, which would be absolutely brilliant as well, which is all to do with, what the Da Vinci Code stole from, what was it? What was the Holy Blood, Holy Grail? Yeah, you want to see Lords, do you, Cole? It is amazing. I took my granddad there. My granddad came to see me. He was 80. Amazing guy, my granddad. Absolutely amazing guy. Massive guy, really tall guy with his massive hands. Gemini. And the most kindest person. If I could be 10% of what he was, I'd be happy. The kindest person you'd ever met. And he came to see me when he was 86. Just jumped on a plane, came to see me when he was 86, may even been a bit more than that actually. And he liked traveling around, and he took him down to Lords. And I wouldn't say he's a religious man, but he's not against religion at all. He just hasn't been a religious man. We got out in Lords, and I'm not joking. He just kind of went. He was agog. That's what, with his mouth open, was crying out, what an amazing place. He said it's like Disneyland. It's like Disneyland, but for religious sort of things. It is an amazing place, Cole. Amazing place. We could do some stuff in Australia as well. You've got some amazing places in Australia as well. Really good places in Australia. So yeah. Yeah, but the weekend tour would be absolutely brilliant. and the heart chakra in the UK. Now that's another one. Yeah, that's worthwhile doing as well. So it's Posh82. Hello, how you doing? What are we discussing? We are discussing multitudes of different things. We've been talking about how to learn about energy and stuff like that. If that's your sort of thing. We're talking about also did a quick thing on what was going on the solar cycles, on the energies of the solar cycles. Question is the actual title of this live was, do you have any questions for the Akashic Library that you want me to look up? So if you're looking at, I was thinking about this earlier on, teleportation, you won't need a passport. Yeah, exactly. I need a passport. Yeah, you need a passport. Teleportation would be better. Or we could smuggle you in, Julie. That'd be a laugh. That'd be great, wouldn't it? Smuggle you in. So I was going to say about the Akashic Library. Things you need to know about the Akashic Library. You don't want to, it's a library. So a library is created from the past, not from the future. How we engage in the future is completely different. What we do is we use the information from the past in order to understand what we're going through now. And, we can only postulate for the future and sort of investigate that sort of things. But you can also, look at, people's lives and so forth and etc. But there's no point, there's if you ask a question sort of like, tell me about the Egyptians, it's just there's way too much information that will come through in order for it to be a very concise sort of like reading and stuff like that. So got to hug a 4-ton rose quartz crystal. Well, why not? I would. If you can get your hands on a 4-ton quartz crystal, feel like a humming energy connection. Even a non-woo-woo hubby felt the energy. A non-woo-woo hubby, did he really? Where have you got to, where was the hug? Where was this 4-ton crystal? Was it up where you are in Ayrshire? I can imagine that would be a major sort of thing. Hi, wow, well, lovely conversations. Yeah, Nicola. Nicola Sacred. I am 888. Yes, I am. You are, apparently. It's 4-ton crystal. Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. I always say, I'm a bit of a traditionalist because I'm a Capricorn. We're a bit sort of traditionalist like that. We're a bit boring Capricorns, and I think crystals are better when. And I'll probably go against the grain here on a lot of people, but I'm sorry, it's my way. I don't mind, but the reason crystals were in the earth is so the earth can use those crystals in a very good way. If we start taking too many crystals out, I think the earth will be kind of going, oh, look, man, you're stripping me of all my good stuff. Can I ask a question about the spark of eons? Spark of eons. Okay. What? I've never heard of the spark of eons. What's the spark of eons all about? Are you talking about the Big Bang? Sent you an email from our visit to Crystal Castle in Byron Bay, Australia. That would be great to visit then. I'd love to come down there. Oh, great. Have you sent an email on it with, did you send me some photographs? I'll bring them up on here if you send me a photograph. Let me have a check. Where did you, let me see, hang on a second. Scott sent me a video. Hi, Scott. I might be doing a podcast with a gentleman called Jeff from Jeff Marwood Podcasts. yeah, I'd love to do it. I don't know if Jeff is watching, but Jeff Mara podcasts. I'm going to be doing a podcast on that and about near death experiences. So keep an eye out for that. I can't actually see your email, May. Did you send any photographs? Let me see if it's in my other email. Let me see if it's in there. I can't see it in there. No, I can't see the email at the moment, May. But lovely. If you have sent it to me, I'll try and get some. If you've got the photographs on it, you know, I'll be able to see it. Hope you get to ask your questions, Suli. Yeah, so do I. What's this spark of eons? What's the spark of eons, Nicola? Divine spark within us. Ooh. And you want to ask the Akashic Library? What do you? Okay, so when did the divine spark happen? This is where I need to be a bit. You need to be really precise. If I go to the Akashic Library and then sort of say, "Tell me about the divine spark," it will give me enormous amounts of information, and I can reel it all off for you. But it may not be answering the question that you've asked. So the divine spark in all of us. The divine spark is in everything. It's even in a tree and everything like that. So you know, do you want to know when it happened? Well, you know, it's difficult to. I think the divine spark's in everything. It's even in the planet. It's the spark is the connection between the divine connection between the breath of the creator or creation and the material or physical world. And it happens perpetually, constantly. It's when if you think of a vibration and it's got waves, those waves are hitting that spark on a constant level. Link to this YouTube channel. Did you really? Which one was that? It is the theastroflower at gmail.com, is it? Because it doesn't seem to be showing me. Doesn't seem to be saying that it's come through. Maybe on. No, I can't see it at the moment, unfortunately, May. Can you send it to the theastroflower at gmail.com? The astroflower, yeah, at gmail.com. Then I can, I can then, if you've got any photographs attached to it, then I can upload it so we can all see these photographs of what you're talking about. It'd be absolutely great. It'd be lovely. Back to Nicola. Is it Nikota? Is it Nikota? Yeah. Okay. Just confirmation of what is unfolding right now for myself, or for you in particularly. Okay, so hang on a second. The divine spark within us. Okay, so confirmation about what is unfolding for me right now. You have, in a sense, just explained it a little in profound gratitude, in profoundness. Yeah. Okay. Are you waking up at the moment? Is that what you're doing, Nikolai? Is it Nikolai or Nico? Am I getting your name wrong? I often get names wrong, so I apologise in the first place. But are you having like this? Are you saying you're having this sort of like waking up moment where you're understanding this inner vibration that is within you, that goes through you, that is part of everything that we are surfing as we go through life? If that's what you're meaning, it's quite complicated sometimes. The waking up scenario, sometimes it can be quite. Sissy, lovely to see you. Hey, it can be quite a shock waking up. And the thing is, I've forgotten who I was talking to. I think it was Nature Listens. I was talking to one day, and you know, and I was just sort of saying how close um, schizophrenia and enlightenment is, because you know, if you say like I'm now channeling energy, I can see things and I can hear things and stuff like that, people are going to kind of sort of say, Nikota. Okay, where are you from, Nikota? It's an interesting name. Is it, you know, scent? Okay, cool. I'll have a look at that. You know, it can often be, and I think a lot of diagnosis of mental illness is wrongly diagnosed, where some people, you know, have, uh, you know, some people are diagnosed with schizophrenia, but they don't actually have schizophrenia. It's not the fact that they don't. It's the fact that the problem is half the time is that people know too much. You know, have a great weekend. Oh, you've got to go. Have you got to go, silly? Did you ask a question, by the way? At least I can answer it and you can see it on the repeated. You know, let, I hope you got a question, that you had a question. Right, hang on a second. I'm just looking for this email. I'm going to leave you just with this photograph for a second because I just need to grab something. I'll be back in 2 seconds. I'm back in the room. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I think you can hear me now. Yeah, you can hear me now. Sorry about that. Just sort of had to do stuff, as it were. Okay, look, I'm going to finish with. I'm going to finish with. I'm in the UK, East Sussex. You might want to come on the. We were talking about doing. I'm doing a workshop down in Brighton. You might want to come to this. Um, so yes, 100%. So you're having a waking up. I'm having an awakening for some time. Just what is unfolding at present. Okay, I'm in UK, East Sussex. Okay, so let's just have a look and see what's going on. Can I have a look at your energy? Is that okay, Nikota? That's quite an interesting name. Where's it originally from? That's what I wanted to know. Can I mind if I have a look at your energy? I'll wait for you to say yes before I do. Okay, so Lynn says agreed. I don't know what Posh did you what did you say, my love? Anything in particular? So I agree. Yeah, if you appear different, it's perceived as abnormal, and they don't want to fix it. So much brilliance must have been paused instead of embraced. Totally it. Do you know the guy from? I think he was from Poland or Yugoslavia or somewhere like that, who was claiming, he's talked about germs and stuff like that, and he ended up in a hospital because they were saying, oh, there's not these invisible things that make people ill, and he was never credited for a long time for the work he had done. Okay, so and yeah, because he was regarded as someone being completely doolally. So yeah, we lost a lot, you know. Sissy says, my son, who I adore, um, has recently relocated back to the area that I lived in. I couldn't be more thrilled. He's a kindering spirit. Can you speak to that, please? What, to your son? He's moved back there? Is that what you want? I somehow knew he was coming, but thought it was wishful thinking. Okay. So yes, you don't want me. It's my soul name, right? Okay, fair enough. Nikota. Okay, I like it. Chrissy, shine brighter, and illuminate the path. Okay. Let's just have a look at Nikota. Okay. So if you just relax, my friend. There we go. Okay, so now we're getting into what I want to do is we go into your crown chakra. We can see like the labyrinth, which is like, if you imagine, it's the slack in the energy lines that go through you that we can use to extend the energy lines, which sort of like helps us to breathe and understand things. And so I just want to have a look at that, of what it's there. Yeah, you're still going through the 14th, 15th stage. Once you get to sort of 16, it's sort of like Christ energy, as it were. And that's where you're really heading at the moment. It's a real enlightenment for you. It's that understanding of putting, at the moment, what's realizing at the moment is, it seems to be an understanding of the different pieces of puzzle. There's enough pieces of puzzle into the thing that so you can see the picture. Sometimes there may be a few gaps that is kind of like wonder what there is there, and it seems to be enlightening to the idea of, okay, obviously there's a change in seems to be like there's a change in direction. It could be even like a physical direction in the sense of what you do in the way of job and so forth, and reassessing that of what you actually do, how you engage in the world, and how best to convey what you're going through to the world around you. That's what it seems to be, and it seems like you're moving on to that phase of, so like the 15, which is absolutely beautiful energy, and it sort of comes and goes. Once you get up to sort of 16, it's sort of like just flowing through. But on a rate of scales, as it were. But here is that understanding of something that's far greater than just the idea of energy. It's also the idea that it's a conscious thing, energy, and it is consciously in everything. And I think that's what you're getting through. That seems like that's what you're getting getting into that whole idea of connecting the dots in your life, and it is, but it looks what you don't want to be creating or concentrating on maybe is what is going on in the world in the sense of geopolitical and all of that sort of thing. I wouldn't really, obviously you're going to hear about it anyway, so as you go through life, but I wouldn't really concentrate on that thing. I'd much more concentrate on what you're supposed to be doing and where you're supposed to be going, or what you're supposed to be conveying, or what you're supposed to be, fulfilling in this life, or the information or the understanding that you need to bring forward. Because we all have our own piece. We are individual pieces of a much bigger puzzle, and we, once we know which side our drawing of the part of the puzzle is, we can put ourselves in connection with everything that is around us, and be that people, plants, animals, energy, the whole sort of shooting match, whole kit caboodle. That's when things start like fitting into place. When it doesn't fit into place, it may not necessarily be you, it may not necessarily be energy, it may be just the human outside world, matrix life sort of thing that's just sort of like doesn't really want to sort of like doesn't really want to doesn't really want you to sort of like break free, if you like. Is that sort of thing, that's sort of happening for you at the moment? That's what it seems to be like within your crown chakra at that stage. Yeah, let me just have a look on there. There's a greater love is also it's like a conceptual sort of thing. It's a perception as well, rather than just a feeling. And I think that's also another aspect it's an understanding of a way of being, and a way of interacting with others in a different loving sort of way, rather than kind of wishing someone love and light and peace and all of that. Is actually being relaxed and calm about it. And if someone's not ready to listen, then don't bother trying to bash them over the heads with it. Spot on. Excellent. That's the sort of thing we do in the workshops. So that's what we get to after doing the source, and once you understand how it mechanically works, and this is very electromechanics of how it works, then we can get onto these chakras, and it's so much easier to understand a lot more of the sort of things. Terrible service here in the woods. So this is you, Sissy. Are you talking about your son that's passed over? Is that what you were saying? Your son's come back to here. Is that what you're saying, Sissy? Have we spoken to him already? I'll wait for you to answer. Is is that what you're saying, Sissy? I'm glad. Just let me close off sort of Nikita. There you go. Thank you very much. Thank you. There you go. Okay. Is that what you're talking about, Sissy? I think we did speak to. We've spoken to him already, I think, haven't we? If I'm not mistaken, because I seem to recognise him. If this is what I'm getting. Is that what it is? No, he's alive. Okay, so he's moved back. So what's the Akashic library about it all then? Was it you I spoke to about that? Was it you? There was someone else possibly. Anyway, yeah. So what's the Akashic library aspect about? How can I help? How can you help with that for your son? Are you asking what your son should be doing there, back where he is? You wouldn't need the Akashic library for that, but we can always have a look at him and see what's what. Posh 82. What was your question? Don't ever, in Anubis. I've just seen your comment from before. I've always been interested in Anubis. I don't know what Anubis is. So if you're still here, Posh 82, what is Anubis? Am I pronouncing it right? Anubis. So what you got very bad reception of you, Sissy. So yeah, what can I do about your son? Do you want to know what your son should be doing? Does he want to know what he should be doing? Okay. Asking about the connection between us. Okay. It's Sammy. Is that Sammy from today, earlier on today? I don't know. I can't quite see the photograph. Was that from you today, Sammy? Did we see each other today, Sammy? I don't know. Your connection between you, he is your son, right? I'm getting this right. How old is he? He's not that young, is he? As far as I can tell. Sometimes, it's like lions, sort of like go wandering off. I've got this thing that's gone. There you go. I couldn't actually see because your comments. Can't see the comments anymore. What a pain in the backside. That's better. No, it's not. We didn't meet today, Sammy. Okay. I met someone today called Sammy. I explained at the beginning. Lovely to see you. Welcome. You love what I do. Tell you what, love. It's just working with energy. I tell you, you can do it. Everybody can do it. Off topic, but do you do any work with past life experiences, Tom? He's 30. Yeah, I got 36, but Sissy. Yes, I do, Lynn. You can do. It's yeah, you can do. I've done a lot of personally. I've done it 20 odd years ago, 25 years ago. I explored all of my lives 25, 30 years ago. So and I got a lot of visions and a lot of information and stuff like that. And yeah, and you can help people with past lives and stuff like that. It's just a question: does those past lives help you today? And they may be very interesting. A lot of the things were really interesting, but personally, I didn't. My past lives that I had at the time, the most important one was when I lived as a SEAL. It was pretty much the earliest life I went back to. Lived as a SEAL and realised that life should be fun, so I must enjoy. And that's what the seal taught me, because the seal got eaten by a shark whilst playing in the waves. And the seal, after its passing, as I was a seal, it turned around to me and it sort of said, look, see, it doesn't matter if the shark bit me and hit me, because the shark needs to eat anyway. But the main thing is I was enjoying the waves. So let's have a look at your connection, Sissy, with your son, shall we? Okay, it seems like so he's having a bit of awakening and an awakening as well. He's coming round. It's probably taking him some time, but it sounds like he's feels like he's coming round to what you've been trying to convey for a long time. And as a parent, sometimes when you're trying to convey things to our children, they sort of look at us and say, "Mum, Dad, please just shut that up," you know. But he wants to do something, doesn't he? He wants to build something or create something there. Am I right? Maybe that's the connection that you need to help him with or need to do, if I'm getting it right. Um, you know, yeah. Is that what it's all about? Yeah. What is another connection there? Don't forget Sissy as well at the same time, you know what I mean? Don't forget that you've also got to live life. And I wouldn't put everything on hold in order to do that. I'm just thinking we may carry some with us thought throughout our journey. Look great as a seal. I think I'd be a great. I think I was a great seal. I think I met the shark afterwards, by the way, and the shark sort of said, look, "Sorry about that, but you were messing around in the water, and I was getting hungry." But there's other things as well that a pleasure, my friend, Nikota. Pleasure. Look, I guess the thing is like the best thing about a present is probably the unopening part of it. That's the most exciting bit. So take your time to open up this knowledge that you're understanding. Take your time. Don't. There's no point rushing it, and enjoy every little step as you go down the line. You know. He's also an artist, but this is from Sissy. So he's also an artist, but it's currently in a construction industry building. Yeah, I'm sure. Did I talk about this? I'm sure I did. Maybe I'm having major deja vu. Um, so he's built. So he's obviously building something then. The seal does represent playfulness. Yeah, seals always remind me of the legend of Selkie. Okay, what's the legend of Selkie? Don't know what the legend of Selkie is about. Let's see what the legend of Selkie is all about. Okay, legend of Selkie. What's that all about? Okay, so it's a mythological character. It's a shapeshifter between a seal and a human form. Oh, there you go. I'm a shapeshifter. It's in the Celtic and Norse. Yeah, okay, I can get that. So mermaids, basically, sort of thing. You know, they were called seal folk. I can get that from North Australia, North Scotland, and stuff like that. Silkies have a dual nature. They can be friendly and helpful to humans, but they can also be dangerous and vengeful. Vengeful? No, no, I can't do that. I haven't got time for that. I haven't got time to be vengeful. But silkies are often depicted as attractive and seductive in human form. I'll buy that one. I'll have that. Yeah, go on then. I'll take that. Sometimes resulting in sort of like so they have a very romantic or physical engagement with other humans and stuff like that. Sometimes resulting in children. It is also created in uh, also can be coerced or tricked into marrying humans. Oh, okay. Usually by someone who steals and hides their seal skin. Okay. So it's a Scottish legend, and it's much more to do with the Celtic religion or Celtic sort of stuff, you know. Sissy, let's get back to you, Sissy. Sorry about that, and your son. When you say artist, what sort of artist are you talking about here? Are you talking about painting, or are you talking about musical, or are you talking about, you know, showman, or uh, he needs to? Is he building like a troupe, or is he building like a community, like a connection with other people, or connecting back to a community, um, which is going to help him then realize and grow within his artistic aspect of life? That's possible. You know, that's very possible. Yeah, he seems to want to the community factor. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, we are living in the present, and it is a gift. I was just thinking about what we could ask the Akashic libraries. Are dreams prophetic or glimpses of the past lives? I had about a handful of very vivid dreams that have stayed with me for years. Yeah, let's talk about dreams. Who's had some amazing dreams? So could it be about past lives? I guess it could. You know, I'm not an expert on dreams, I've got to say. You know, I will be honest with you. Um, I've had some prophetic dreams, as I said in the video, tend to come at the end of sleep, I think, and about how things are set up, and whether how things are set up will sort of like, you know, like if, for example, if you've got an appointment tomorrow of London, then you may have a prophetic dream about going to London, and then you meet someone going to London, and that keeps you in, uh, you know, keeps you, you know, then you end up meeting someone. So that's the sort of like you can have it of that sort of things, and it can be prophetic as well. I'll tell you what, I wrote the event back in 1997, the book that I'm trying to get republished at the moment, um, about these coming events that are coming up. And it all came from a dream. And I woke up in the morning and I started writing, and uh, my dreams are off the charts. Yeah, I get a lot of that at the moment. Um, and I started writing the dream of, you know, recounting the dream. I ended up doing 4 A4 pieces, you know, front and back, so 8 sides about it. And then I just kept going back over it and rediscovering new bits. I ended up with such a big chunk that I kind of went, right, actually, I'm going to write a book. So I wrote a book, and part of that book is what I wrote in the event with Tanya. Um, and because my computer blew up the moment I finished the book, my computer blew up in 1997. It blew up when we had floppy disks and everything like that. You know, it blew up. So I lost the book, but you know, I never forgot the book. And yeah, it was a very very prophetic dream. Um, I've had some other mad dreams as well, and I bet you know, dreams are mad, aren't they? You know what I mean? A lot of people must have had some really mad dreams about it. Sissy, surreal art like Salvador Dali. Well, do you know Salvador Dali? I don't know if you've have you. Where were you again, Sissy? In the world? Um, I went to, you know, I went to, you know, where Salvador Dali lived in Spain, round that sort of area there. Went all around that sort of area. Went into his the museum of Dali and everything like that. Absolutely amazing, mind blowing it was. Um, yeah, and he actually, although he was an artist, he was in a group of other people as well that were around him. A little bit like what's his name in New York? Uh, David Bowie used to go there as well, and they wasn't it called the Factory or something like that? David Hockney or you know, something like that. You know, where it's not just one person. It's yeah, one person may be driving it, but it's that's what it feels like that he should be doing. It feels like he should be exploring that art, which is going to bring other people in that may do other types of art, which is not the same, but at the same time, it goes well together, as it were. That's the feeling I get from it. Maybe he ends up, you know, creating like a sort of centre or something like that. So, Nikota, your dreams are off the chart at the moment. I can imagine they would be. The veil is very thin at this present moment. Yeah. Have you seen that picture of that person who is under that sphere and he sticks their head through the sphere and sees out like a magician who sees outside of that's what's happening at the moment. Um, Let me see if I can get you a picture of that. And it's very much that explains it. It's a very shamanistic sort of thing going on by the looks of it. But I can't actually find it. I'll give it on another day. So you're in Central Florida, Sissy. Um, you know, it could be a fact that are you still married? Your husband about? Is there some sort of like, does it run within the family a bit? There seems to be a little bit of a sort of like intergenerational sort of thing. And I think that has to do with the moon as well. You know, you might have had a realization as well about all of this over the last sort of like couple of weeks. It's a drawing that I'm talking about, Nikota. It's a photograph of someone who's it looks like a drawing from like 200 years ago, and it's someone who's looking puts their head out of a sphere. That's how I feel at the okay. So feels like my dreams are actually manifesting into 3D. You know, I got that the other night as well. Yeah, and so Julie's saying that's how I feel when I'm meditating at the moment. Like I'm popping my head into a ball of energy. This is it. This is where I like to meditate with my eyes open and stuff like that. You know, because then you can see the energy, and it's a lot easier to sort of like let things go. Yeah, it could be your Kundalini that's really opening up to that sort of aspect of it all. You know, like a timeline traveler. Yeah, piercing the veil. I've experienced that back in Cyprus. Um, Experienced that back to Sirius the Great. Well, that's a very old time, but when Sirius was the North Star, was the guiding star. That's a long time ago. That is. Yeah, you can go right back to the beginning once you start going through all of these sort of things. This is what I meant about how things are connecting. So you're saying things how things connect in a much wider sense of it all. And it is like a progressional sort of process that we're all sort of going through, you know. Coral says, divorced 9 years ago, art runs in the family. Totally. I get there's some sort of thing that's running in the family there. It could be like even a grandparent that's no longer there that he seems to be channeling or whatever it is. You know, there seems to be something there. Okay, so Coral says, I had a bizarre thing that happened whilst having a nano nap. Nice one. I had a conversation with my mum, who is still alive. The number two stood out. Can't explain. Well, number two is always a decision, or it's always it's like a definitive. It's like a definition. like a definitive thing. So if you get like, that's why in the tarot, like for the example, the Two of Pentacles is like showing you what physically works. Two of Swords is showing you the decision of the inner mental calculation. The Two of Wands is the decision about a pathway that you should be taking. And the Two of Cups is the decision of coming together of two loves. It's always this moment, as it were. It's almost etched in stone in a way, coral. So it could be a factor that probably need a few more things about that. What was in the conversation, if it's not too rude to ask? So it's that 3D thing. I totally get that. I got fooled the other day. Was it the night before? I was talking to someone. I was convinced that they were in the room with me, and it was just like, then I kind of went, oh, hang on a second, now that's me falling asleep. And yeah, it was 3D. As in 3D, as in physically there, not 3D as in the dimension, because people get confused with all of those sort of things. Yeah, it seems to be Sissy. Just going back to that, I'm getting something on that. Was was your grandparents and stuff like that much more sort of like traditionalist arts, or your parents maybe, Sissy, or someone that seems to be like, I think. Okay, so this is okay. So okay, you tell. I might be completely off the rails here, but I've got a funny feeling there's a certain symmetry or sacred geometry that goes into art, even into Dali's stuff. There is a certain explanation which explains the perfection of sacred geometry, and within that, seeing that sort of within that perfection, you get imperfections that are produced out of it. And that's why all apples are completely different, so it could be a case of that maybe there's someone that needs to. Okay, what I'm getting here is basically someone from the past is trying to help your son understand the idea of structure to help him explore the unstructured side of art. So it maybe he has to do things religiously or vigorously or in a very structured way, or using structured components in order to express his art. That's what I'm getting from it. How can I? This is Nikki from Nikki Ruffle. Is that right? How can I stop putting others before myself? Very difficult, that, isn't it? We all love to help each other, and we all, I always sort of say there, you know what I mean, and everyone's probably heard it, so I don't want to sort of like, whack you over the head with the same sort of thing, but everything in the universe works on the premise that as long as I am okay, everybody else can be okay. And that doesn't necessarily mean, and I have to make sure I'm in a good place in order for that to happen. So therefore, in certain aspects of my life, I have to totally put myself first. Not in every aspect of my life, certainly not in every aspect of my life. A lot of my aspects of my life, I put other people first. But, without that foundation of putting some aspects of my life first, I can't really help anybody else. I'm not in a good place in order to help someone else. So you have to, that's how everything works in the universe. It doesn't work that as long as everybody else is okay, I'm okay. That's not how it works. You're trying to do the impossible. So Stop trying to do the impossible and start doing the possible and aspire to the impossible. So the other thing I also sort of say is as well is that you, Nikki, right, you cannot save the world. I cannot save the world, but we can. And in order for that we to exist, you have to also exist in your life. And I wouldn't feel guilty about putting yourself first in certain aspects of your life to make sure you are in a good place before you can give people quality time and energy rather than quantity time and energy. Okay, quantity's hopeless. It's not really, it's not a supermarket, man. Life is not a supermarket. It's all about quality rather than quantity. So okay, so just going back to Coral, says, okay, thanks. I really don't, blimey, what happened there? Got a few messages in there. Healer, heal thyself. Yeah, healer, heal thyself. You're constantly doing that. I'm constantly, what you do is, I will come to you in a minute, Coral, because I want to ask something about that, yeah? And I will come to you, Rita, as well. Healing oneself is like, if you understand what you're putting in, or you're engaging in life, you will know you don't put yourself in a position where you actually need healing, if you know what I mean. So I'm and the French say the worst shoed person in the village is the cobbler, because he's constantly doing shoes for other people. And that's a little bit like what Nikki's trying. I was saying to Nikki, it is a case that sometimes you will be the worst shoed cobbler. But at the same time, if you are conscious about what you're engaging with, you don't tend to have to heal yourself, because you can see the problems coming from a mile away and you can avoid them. So that comes from the idea of healthy. So heal thy. So once you put them two together, heal and thy, you end up with healthy. So heal thyself. Yeah, totally get that. Let me get back to you, Cole. What was so you heard her voice more than anything else. How was her voice? That's what I wanted to ask. How was her voice? What sort of, what does it evoke, her voice? What would it evoke within you? So I had a dream 2 years ago. This is from Vita. I had a dream 2 years ago in which someone came and told me I was dying. I was too scared to bring it up and didn't. But he actually, told you he was dying. Sorry, I read that wrong. So I was actually scared and didn't want to bring it up, but he actually died 1 month later. I was shocked and heartbroken. Yeah, that's very prophetic. And there's some people who have a lot of prophetic dreams, and it's a little bit like the artist, equally cursed and blessed. So if saying yes to others costs you too much, okay, this comes from Lynn. Saying yes to others costs you too much. It's time to say yes to you. Yeah, totally get that. Totally, that's very good advice. Nikota, this is the best thing about the Astroflower family. We're helping each other all the time. It's actually brilliant. It's so important to focus on self first. Once we can do the inner healing, it ripples out to others. Totally. That's exactly what it is. Nikki, thank you. Pleasure. Absolute pleasure. The world's a better place when you're enjoying it and you're okay and you're not putting too much pressure on yourself. The world becomes a better place automatically without having to do much else. That's that rippling effect of that healing factor. And once you realize it's okay, when you help people, you help people. If people, if people are going to complain because you're not helping them, then probably, not really worth helping. And maybe they got to help themselves. Okay, so this comes from Chrissy G. I found out hard way that you can still be a helper, but need to set boundaries to prevent your energy being drained. Yeah, I never get tired when I do healing, and I never get drained. People who come and see me usually get drained. I'm not draining their energy. What I'm doing is that if you imagine, sometimes when you come out of a massage or an osteopath or something like that, you kind of you feel a little bit beaten up in a way, because that's I'm playing with people's energies rather than playing with my energy. I don't want to play with my energy because it's about the so I play with people's energy so that people can feel sort of like okay. Yeah, and yeah, it's healthy boundaries are incredibly important, very important, Chris. You totally get that, totally go along with that. So this comes back from Coral. This is about your dream with your mother. Um, it was peaceful, and I was worried. I was worried though, as she is 92. Hmm. I got a little feeling about that as well. Um, Coral, you know, everyone, everyone's got their beginning, middle, and end, as it were, and maybe she's just reassuring you that you don't need to worry about her. It's okay, and it maybe if you're trying too hard to do something for her or do something in your life that is connected to her, she might be just sort of saying, "Is it's okay, it's okay, Coral, my love. You don't need to worry about me. You know, I'm not going anywhere yet, but you don't break your life for me." Maybe that's the sort of thing, sort of coming through. So, Julie, sorry, off topic. I found where to book my place. Have you an idea of a start and finish time, please? For the workshop starts at 10 in the morning, and we usually finish around about 6 o'clock in the evening. But I'm sure we will be eating together in the evening. So it's over 2 days, and you know, we usually eat together in the evening because then we can talk pretty much like we're talking at the moment on this live. We can cross a lot of subjects and topics and talk about what we've done in the day and stuff like that. I will be there on the Friday. You're more than welcome to turn up on the Friday, and then we can go, and then Saturday and Sunday we do the workshops and stuff like that, and we usually finish on the Sunday at sort of 6 o'clock in the evening. Does that sit right with you, Coral? Did it? You know, she don't worry, don't worry about it, love. You know, it, everything's okay. I guess. I think that's what seems to be want to be compelled. Yeah. So yeah, it's so I'll show you. I could actually probably show you the program for the workshop, so everybody can see it. Let me try and find it and put it on to there. Let me see where it's gone. Let me see where it's gone. Let me see if I can do that. I don't know if I can add a document. Just seeing if I can add a document so you can see it. Let me just see if I can actually take a photograph of it. Oh, okay, I can definitely do that. So let me just make sure I can. Hang on a second. Preview. There it is there. Let's just see what comes up with that. Oh, let me just see. There it is there. Just okay. So this is all about the workshop. This is the flyer sort of thing. Okay. So here we go as we go through. Just like the covering page, that gives you the detail of it, of the links to the workshop. That gives you a little splurge about what's going on of the workshop. Let me just see, where do we have that? Yeah, there. No, that's the second weekend, is it? The source. Here we go, day one. So the workshop, discovering the fundamental mechanics of the universal vibrations, learning about the basic flows, creations of energies, and how the vibrations are distributed by our own sun and the earth. This then leads on to how the vibrations affect the planet, consequently human beings. So we learn that in the morning. You will be led along a unique path. Tom followed along a journey to understand these vibrations and discovering the amazing depth of his knowledge in this field. So, and then in the afternoon sessions is more practical, where we'll be venturing outside and experiencing personally the wonderful discovery of energy lines. Firstly, however, the tools of the trade are to be handmade, and how we create our own dowsing rods to start with. This is then following by the fascinating insights on the energy lines, and we start dowsing the energy lines and how they impact energies in local, historical, religious, and religious concepts, that you will be able to feel the energies for yourselves out on the road. You will be connecting and harmonizing with the energies with the chakra sequencing, and this is where we start to learn about our chakras and how it connects to the energy in the second part of the afternoon. And then we learn about the earth energy chakra systems, and where the chakras are and how the chakras play into the system and how they play through it for us, as humans, as it were. And then in the afternoon, we will take these theories out. So then, therefore, we start dowsing or connecting to the energies that are that are through our chakra system rather than through dowsing rods. So basically, you go from using dowsing rods at the beginning part of the weekend to using your body and your energy system, because you can use different parts of your energy system to douse different things. It's much easier. I've sent an email for a brochure. Yeah, okay, I'll send you one. Nikota, no worries. I'll return one of them, but unfortunately cannot make the November Brighton one this time. Okay, it's no worries. You might want to. There's one up in Kirby as well. There's one up in Wells as well, in Somerset. But yeah, I'll send you the brochure and you can have a good look at it. Do we bunk at the workshop? So sorry, feeling very thick. Do we bunk? Well, this is it. What I'm saying is, I'm renting a place that I've got 2 or 3 bedrooms spare. And you're more than welcome to jump in with those 2 or 3 bedrooms if you so like. You may have answered this, but the Akashic Library, like a source of past history, can be used as a reference to help move forward. Yeah, totally. So, in the connection to like your parents, are we talking here, or your grandparents, or something like that, of how that it plays out for your son? Because we're looking at the past, and your son is not the past; he's actually the future. I'd need to know the people that I'm supposed to be looking up. So like a grandparent or a name or something like that I could look up with that. Okay, so Vita says I got in an elevator one evening after work. There was a man already there, but put his hand in his pocket, and I said, M and Mrs. Peanuts, Mr. and Mrs. Peanuts, M&M's, and I said M&M's Peanuts, and he pulled a packet of M&M's peanut pockets. This is it. We were both shocked. It's like the idea is like, you can actually see the world around you with your eyes closed. Have you seen that film? And there's a big school in India where they teach children to see things without actually physically seeing things. They can read books without having to physically read them. I think that's very, very possible. So then that's possibly what you were doing. Were you X-raying his pockets, trouser pockets? Was that what you were doing, Rita? It's all right. You're with the family. You can be honest. It's okay. We understand. Love little moments like that, Chris. Yeah, I'm not supposed, we do, yeah. It is fantastic, Julie. It really is. It is. It'll be a great weekend. It's always good. We always cook together and everything like that. So you spend the whole week. You don't want to waste time. You spend the whole weekend just trying to explore different aspects of it, and the more we explore, the more you understand. The more you understand, the more you will be able to learn in the future, because you will be able to understand yourself and the language that is being used, and so forth. And it is seriously, not because it's not me. I'm just the messenger. The amazing thing is energy. Once you start feeling it, and once you start dowsing it, and really start using your chakras, you start kind of going, "Oh my word, right? Wow." Yeah, and it's a question that one of the first questions that people come back with is very much along the lines of, okay, so what do I now? I know all of this. What do I do with it? That is the big question that comes back, and it opens up a whole plethora of possibilities for people to work in different areas of their life and stuff like that. So I have a lot of hypnotherapists come in the course. I have a lot of sort of like people who do Reiki, a lot of people who do Veda, sort of yoga, and sort of like all to do with the eatings and stuff like that. People who want to do sort of like clairvoyancy or mediumship, or a lot of different things. And it is the basic building blocks of any therapy you ever want to do, or any sort of energy work you want to do in the going future. I'm only hearing half of what's going on because I'm also in a Zoom meeting. Are you? What are you doing in a Zoom meeting, Vita? Is that work? Is that work? Is that the work? Okay. Does the type of material dowsing rods are made of affect the ability to channel? Not at all. Usually, okay, so I'm gonna tell you straight, right? I make dowsing rods on my workshops, usually out of coat hangers, metal coat hangers. I was on the BBC. I did a program on the BBC about this, and the journalist who I did the program on, he was blown away, because he said he was doing this documentary thing, and he said, like, this bloke the only technical stuff he turned up was with a wire coat hanger. And the idea is that you don't want to become reliant upon something external. So, I can use a pendulum, or, everything. I can use all of that. But I tell you what, dowsing rods it's like using the most basic of calculators and comparing it to, your MacBook Pro. They're worlds apart. what you can do with your body is way much more than what you can do with a dowsing rod. So basically, the dowsing rod there, I purposely do it so you don't become dependent upon the dowsing rod. And in the future, you know, especially with Tanya and stuff like that, you know, after a while of doing some amazing stuff with Tanya, she didn't use any more she didn't use dowsing rods anymore when she was dowsing, you know, and it was you know, amazing. You can, I don't think the material, it's not important. In fact, it's a distraction more than anything else, personally. So I teach, you know, I help people to get past the idea of the distraction and realize that actually, if you're going to douse something with your own personal energy, because that's when you're going to get a real multi-dimensional response to what you're looking at. Okay, so Kim, where's this come from? There was a woman in my family several generations ago named Sarah. Okay, I've always loved that name. Her birthday was the same as mine. All right, okay. Is it possible that I was Sarah in a past life? How many generations ago? Yeah, there's no reason why not. There's no reason why not. You know, but can we ask Akashic Libraries? Yeah. Okay, so it's Sarah. You're talking quite a way away, a long time ago. So this is Kim and Sarah. Let me just bring that up. I think you're part of the family. I don't think it's the first life that you would have shared a family connection with. I don't think you're Sarah, as per se, but you could have well been in that life. You know, at some point you might have been her, you know, Sarah's child, or you could have been Sarah's mother, or even her sister, or something like that. Or it's yeah, that's the feeling I get. It's more like sort of like that. You could have even been twins at some point in another life. And you may feel like seriously connected to that person there, because you might have had incarnations where you would have incarnated together in some sort of connection with her. But I'm not convinced that the best way to look at this, Kim, if it's okay, we all have a book down here to the left-hand side of us, right? If you look at all the sculptures of all the, you know, Moses and everything like that, they all carrying a book. And sometimes it's defined as a handbag and stuff like that. What it is like, it gives you a list of all your past lives that you've had. You take it with you. So you could easily see if that's sort of like within there. Can I have a look at that, if that's all right? Does anybody ever feel that, okay, so hang on a second. Really, I'm going to have to hunt down a clothes hanger and give it a go. I tell you what, yeah. What I actually do on my workshops, either it's a coat hanger, or I take electrical cables and take the plastic off the electrical cables. So you're using copper. Copper tends to be easier, but it really doesn't make that much of a difference. You know what I mean? You know, yeah. I think that's yeah. I don't. I'm not. I'm not convinced you're a reincarnation of it, but I think you're incredibly close to her. In a sense that maybe, you know, there may be times in the long, long past. Okay, I'd like to have a look at your book. Can I have a look at your book? To the side of you. I always like asking people, because otherwise it gets a little bit like you're spying on people. I don't like doing that. So Lynn comes up with, I worked at a childcare centre many years ago. Absolutely fell in love with this little boy, and he called me mum. Oh, when he learned to speak. Oh, lovely. Our connection was strong from day one. I hope you did. You know, I hope you're still talking to him. They're talking to them. I hope they're doing well. Yes, please. You can have a look. Okay. If you just relax, there you go. Okay, cool. Okay, you're relaxing now. Okay, let's get into there. So what we're looking for is basically your family tree and whether it goes back to the life of Sarah. Okay. Yeah, I don't think it's there. There's many other lives in there though. Do you like food, Kim? Do you like, I don't mean just eating food. I mean, do you like knowing about nutritional sort of stuff by any chance? Does that interest you? Because there doesn't seem to be a life that's, with that, as that Sarah sort of thing. And and the other question I wanted to know is, do you know when she was about in your family? Are we talking about, I'm getting like 150 years ago, and I'm not sure whether that's right or not. You know, sure do. So they certainly do, don't they? This is it. My kids knew a lot more, and then as they grow up, life gets all a bit lifey, and we forget about it, don't we? Sure do, because I had to hide when his mum came to pick him up. Oh, bless him, because he'd cry for me, saying, "Mum, oh my word." You're lucky there, Liv. You might have got yourself in a spot of bother. You don't want to be. Oh, mm, that's very nice. Lovely sort of connection, that. Yeah, so, Kim, just going back to that, do you, I've got to check that email as well, didn't I? I've got to check that email from, oh, here we go. Chrissy's got oh, look, the crystals. Chrissy's got the crystals. I'm only just seeing them now. All right, so it's a Tibetan center you went to. Where was this? Wow. Is that hubby holding the crystal? Wow, look at that. I'm saying wow, and you guys can't see it, can you? Do you mind if I share? I just want to make sure I can share all of these photos that you sent across. Uh, no. Yeah, it's a Buddhist center. Wow, look at that. That's beautiful. It looks like they got a labyrinth down there. I was talking about that labyrinth, and looks like they got the Chartres labyrinth on there, haven't they? Let me just. Is it okay to share, by the way, Chrissy? Sorry, I just want to make sure I can share. I don't want to start sharing your photos. Was it Chrissy? No, who was it who sent me the email? Was it? I'm just trying to see now. May, wasn't it? Was it May? Gee whiz. Um, my my memory is obviously shot to pieces. I know it's you, Chrissy. You sent me the email, Chrissy, didn't you? Gee whiz. Sorry, Chrissy. Okay. Life gets lifey. That's gold. It is gold. That's what a friend said to me. It's in Byron. Yeah. Okay, I'm sharing away. Are you ready, rocking and rolling? Let's just have a look at. Let's just get that there. Let's see where it is. We go here. No, that's not it. Oh no, I know why. Because I haven't actually got the thing up. Let me just get this up. Here we go. I'm just sorting out the computer thing so I can actually share it. Okay, so let me just sort it out so then I can. So here we go. That looks like that labyrinth there. You can see in the background there, Chrissy. You can see in the background there, in that section there. I'm not sure whether you can see the ladies walking on. That's that labyrinth. That's what about walking and getting your consciousness to a higher level. So they're using it in Buddhist temples as well, which is really good. Absolutely fantastic. Lovely, you know, beautiful Buddha, man. Fantastic Buddha. That looks like an amazing, it's like a crystal sort of Disneyland, isn't it? It's absolutely brilliant. And there's that beautiful shrine with the the prayer cylinders that you turn when you pray. Some fantastic crystals. Then yeah, it's just like all going off on holiday with Chrissy at the moment. Wow, look at that one. That's man. Wow, look at that. What's the what's it called? Is it an Amaris or whatever it is? Wow. Wow, look at that. That's obviously, can you imagine that at some point that was like liquid? You know, absolutely amazing that. Dragon's tooth. Look at that. It's beautiful. Is that the tongue quartz? Is that the tongue quartz thing, Chrissy? Is that, I've got to find a place of where I can find the comments. Was that the tongue quartz things? You know, that's your darling hubby, is it? Not very woo woo guy. Yeah, the Smythus modes, geodes. Yeah, absolutely amazing. Gorgeous wings. Yeah, they do look like gorgeous wings, Lynn. Absolutely, absolutely amazing. Am I, is it, yeah, it's still showing it there. Right, okay, cool. Let me just go through and see the other ones now. I had to come back and get the comments. Is that hubby? Is that? Well, yeah, and there's the prayer thingy. Wow, wow, that's massive, isn't it? That geode. Wow, imagine finding that as well. You know, it must be quite mad. That'd be a good thing to start dowsing for, and you can dowse for this sort of thing. You know, it does make it a lot better, much easier. That's it, amazing. There's the wings, Lynn. There's the butterfly wings, Lynn. Look at that. That's absolutely brilliant. Have you seen that geode that geode? Is that you, Chrissy? Excellent. Has anyone seen that geode where they've had it's got things written in it? The bloke came through the Pyrenees here at some point. Let me just bring that back up. I'll try and find the photographs of this geode that what's it called? The stone of the crystal of, and it's written in there, and inside the geo, it's got like these inscriptions that are inside the geo, and I forgot what it's called now. I want to find out what it's called. Let me just see. I'm trying to find what it is. He came to the Pyrenees, came where we were, and he was giving a talk about it, and it was explaining all about. I know I've got a really good friend of mine who would be able to sort of like because they were there, they will remember it. I know they will. I can't remember the name of the stone. I can't find it, unfortunately. But yeah, there was an amazing, uh, amazing thing on that. That's that Byron Bay you were talking about, was it? Okay, so that was yes, I guess the thingy. He's learning and opening to my ramblings. I can get that. They are, yeah. They have been gathered over the last 20 years from Argentina and Brazil. These photos are awesome. Yes, it's Kim. Uh, my pleasure. It's such a magical place. It looks like a magical place. It looks absolutely beautiful, even though it was packed with visitors. Everyone was so peaceful and respectful to others. Of others. That's really really nice. I was going to ask you about that, Kim. Kim, I was going to. Did you say what period Sarah was about? Did you reply on that? Let me just go back. Yeah, she was probably about 155, 50 years ago. Totally. Yes, and you love food and nutrition. Well, I'm going to tell you, you did a life many moons ago. There was a particular life. I've got a funny feeling it was in India, where you learn everything about the nutritional values of. You did a Ayurveda, and you did the whole nutritional values of food and stuff like that. And I think you would love doing that again. It seems like it was a really important life to you, for you. And I'll tell you what, another thing, Chrissy, this is just going from, you know, from, uh, from what do you call it, from Coquelin. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's French. Um, this guy, it was the stone came from South America, from Argentina, if I'm not rightly remember, if I remember rightly. Um, it was peaceful, yeah, beautiful place. You looked it, you know, even with your ramblings, Chrissy. Yeah. So yeah. Did you see the wings afterwards? They are. Yeah, there they are. There you go. I saw you say you did comment on that. I'm just catching up on the comments now from what I was sort of like seeing. Uh, do we have any more sort of like questions and so forth? Because times are moving on, and I'm running. I was running a bit late when I got back this evening, and I've got to close down the day, as it were. I don't want to be going on too late. But it's been absolutely brilliant. It's been a real sort of family get together, isn't it? Sitting around a nice open fire and chewing the cud and you know exchanging stories and stuff like that. You know, absolutely brilliant. But Kim, definitely do look at that again about the food and nutrition and everything like that. Definitely look into that. I think you would really enjoy it, regardless of what you do with it. I just think it will connect you with and memories that make you kind of go, yeah, that's great, you know. And what was the other thing as well? Um, yeah, and yeah, maybe investigating that will be really good. India, oh, that makes so much sense. yeah, it seems like that's when I'm looking down your library of book, your book library. Once you come down to, there's one life that jumps out, and that's that, you know, and it will jump out according to what we're talking about. But what jumps out is a life, and when I pull it out, when I pull the book out, that chapter out, and I look at it, it's sort of like it's giving a real, almost like a scientific approach to nutrition, and you know, food, nutrition, and stuff like that. And it's certainly and a sense of wow, a wonderment that comes out of it. So yeah, I would get back into doing that sort of thing if I was you, Kim. I think you really like it. Chrissy, an absolute pleasure, my love. You know what I mean? I love being here with you guys as well. Frisia, thank you for the sunset. Pleasure, Frisia. Did you get the sunset down your way? You know, it was amazing. I think it certainly looked to me as if the sun was a lot bigger than it normally looks. Maybe me, but it looked enormously bigger than it normally looks. And I was quite taken agog by the whole idea of how big it looked. You know, so yes, been lovely. Julie always has been. Lynn, absolutely fantastic. Frisia, beautiful. Thanking you very much. Kim, obviously lovely. Coral, lovely to see you. Chrissy G, thanking you very much. Lovely to see you. Nakota, fantastic. I'll send you, if you send me the email. I'll send you the sort of like the PDF of the workshops and what goes on in the workshops. Vita, love it. Like the fact that you can see through young man's trousers. Seems very interesting. So yes, lovely to see everybody. Bosch 88, it was lovely to see you. Sammy, beautiful to see you as well. Earth vibe, was it Earth Energies? No, what was it? The there was another one. Nikki, lovely. Glad you really got involved. It's always beautiful to see. It's always good to ask questions. Sissy, lovely to see you as well. Really lovely. Where was it? There was another person as well that I'd like to say goodbye to. It was Earth something. What was it? I can't bloody find it now, can I? Terrible, isn't it? It's so typical, isn't it? When you start looking for something, all of a sudden you find it. Solely, yes, thanking you. Nature Listens, there you go. Yes, I'll be there. Mate, I didn't see that comment, Nature Listens. Sorry, Anne, I didn't see that. It's going to be great. We're going to have a great week, great weekend. Yes, there it is. Earthly Essentials. Thanking you for being here. May, thanking you for being here as well. Absolutely brilliant. Shirley, Kevin as well. Oh man, it's lovely. It's just so beautiful to see everybody, you know, and we will definitely see each other very, very soon in one form or another. If you've got any other sort of topics that you want to talk about in the future, feel free to drop me an email. If you've got, I'm going to be going out doing a bit more dowsing and videoing the dowsing and the antics that we get up with energy hunting, as it were. So if you've got any ideas that you know that you want to talk about or you want to be explored, do send them either on an email or try and drop them into any comments on any of the videos, because I tend to, you know, I will look at all the comments, even if it's like on a past video and it's about a topic that you want to talk about on lives. Just drop it in there. It'd be lovely to see. Okay, I will say thank you very much to everybody for being there. I do thank you very much for all the support you give me and everything like that. It's absolutely beautiful. Really do appreciate it all and everything like that. And you know, I will see you soon, as it were. Let me just see, how do I work out how to turn this thing off? You know, blessings to all. Yes, blessings to all. I will now finally find the way of turning off this live stream. Okay, I'll get there in a second. Stop stream.